April 28, 1967. Houston, Texas. Fluorescent lights. Reporters sweating. Cameras rolling. Muhammad Ali steps forward. A clerk reads his name. Ali doesn't move. The room goes quiet. You can hear paper shifting. Someone coughs. "Step forward," the clerk says again. Ali looks straight ahead, jaw set, eyes calm. "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong." Gasps. Flashbulbs explode. In that moment, Ali isn't just refusing the draft. He's signing his own warrant. Because what happens next isn't a protest story. It's a manhunt. Within weeks, Ali loses everything. His boxing license, his title, his income. And quietly, without cameras, the Federal Bureau of Investigation starts watching him. Phones tapped, mail opened. Strange cars parked too long outside his home. Ali is 25 years old, no fights, no money coming in. Every move tracked. And here's the part nobody tells you. For the next 3 years, Muhammad Ali does not belong to the government. He belongs to Harlem. Cut to New York City, late night. Summer heat, trapped between brick buildings. A black Cadillac eases down 125th Street. Slow, deliberate. Inside sits Bumpy Johnson, custom suit, fedora low, hands folded. This is a man the FBI has chased for decades, and tonight, he's about to make a decision that puts him directly in their path. Because word has reached Harlem. Ali is in trouble. Real trouble, not jail trouble, disappearance trouble. A federal source has floated an idea. If Ali keeps talking, keeps refusing, they'll find a way to break him. Not legally, quietly. Bumpy doesn't like that. Not because Ali is famous, not because of politics, but because Ali stood up alone. And Harlem notices things like that. Scene change, Ali's apartment, night, rain tapping the windows, a radio humming low. Ali sits at the table, bills spread out, envelopes stamped overdue. He rubs his temples. His hands are shaking, but just a little. Footsteps outside the door. He freezes. 3 knocks. Slow. Ali stands, breath tight. No entourage, no bodyguards, just him. He opens the door. 2 men in dark coats. Harlem men, not cops. One speaks quietly. "Brother Ali, Mr. Johnson would like a word." Ali hesitates. "What kind of word?" The man leans in. "The kind that keeps you breathing." Cut to a back room in a Harlem club. Dim lights, smoke hanging heavy. Bumpy Johnson sits at a table. A glass of whiskey untouched. A gun on the table, not pointed. Just there. Ali stands across from him. No smiles, no speeches. Bumpy looks him over. "You made powerful people angry," Bumpy says. Ali doesn't blink. "I spoke my truth." Bumpy nods once. "That truth will get you buried if you're alone." Silence. Then Bumpy leans forward. "As long as you're under my watch," he says. "Nobody touches you." Ali swallows. "You fighting the government for me?" Bumpy's voice stays calm. "I've been fighting them my whole life." Here's what Ali doesn't know yet. For the next 3 years, every FBI move near him will be mirrored, every tale watched, every threat answered before it lands. Not with speeches, with fear. And if the Bureau pushes too hard, they won't be dealing with a boxer anymore. They'll be dealing with Harlem's king. But what the FBI didn't know was that Bumpy Johnson had already planted someone inside their operation. And that's where this turns deadly. Night presses against the windows. Ali sits on the edge of his bed, lacing old training shoes. The leather is cracked, soles thin. No gym sponsorship, no crowds, no paycheck. He shadow boxes in silence. Punch, slip, breath through the nose. The radio murmurs about Vietnam, about loyalty, about traitors. Ali snaps it off. His stomach growls. He ignores it. On the dresser, letters from the boxing commission, stamped, official, cold, license revoked, indefinite suspension. Ali rubs his face. He didn't dodge the draft to hide. He dodged it because he believed something. Now belief costs rent. Footsteps pass outside, then stop. Ali freezes. A car door shuts, soft, careful. He steps back from the window. Someone is always watching now. Across Harlem, a back booth at the Lenox Lounge. Bumpy Johnson sits still. Cigarette smoke curls around his hat brim. Two men stand nearby. Big Sam, Jocko Henderson. Bumpy speaks without looking up. They're leaning on him. Big Sam nods. Phones, bank accounts, friends. Jocko adds, they want him broke and scared. Bumpy's jaw tightens. That boy stood up in front of the whole country. He taps ash into a tray. No entourage, no muscle, just his word. A waitress passes, the clink of glasses, jazz humming low. Bumpy finally looks up. If they break him, he says, they teach every young man to stay quiet. Silence. Then Bumpy gives the order. No one touches Ali, not here, not anywhere. Big Sam hesitates. That's the bureau, Bump. Bumpy leans forward. Then they better learn to knock. Weeks pass. Ollie tries to work out at small gyms. Doors close when he walks in. Managers avoid eye contact. One man pulls him aside. Brother, they're calling us, saying we lose licenses if you train here. Allie nods. I understand. But he doesn't, because at night the pressure shifts. His phone rings. Click. Silence. Mail arrives already opened. A stranger bumps him on the sidewalk. You still think you're bigger than the country? The man whispers. Allie turns. The man's gone. Allie walks home faster now, hands clenched. Rain pours over 125th Street. Allie exits a diner. Collar up, head down. A black Cadillac idles at the curb. The window rolls halfway. Bumpy's voice comes calm and low. You all right, champ? Allie steps closer. They want me scared. Bumpy nods. That's how they start. Allie exhales. I won't run. Bumpy's eyes harden. You won't have to. He gestures with 2 fingers. Across the street, a man watching Allie suddenly looks away. Then crosses the road. Fast. Bumpy speaks again. They think you're alone. Allie looks at the Cadillac, at the driver, at the quiet confidence. I ain't asking for trouble, Allie says. Bumpy meets his eyes. Neither am I. The window slides up. The Cadillac pulls away. That night, Bumpy meets with a quiet man named Vincent. Thin, nervous, always adjusting his tie. Vincent lays papers on the table. They've opened a special file. Your name's in it. Bumpy doesn't flinch. Who's watching Allie? Vincent swallows. 2 agents, 1 local, 1 federal. Bumpy smiles thinly. Good. Vincent stiffens. That's not good. Bumpy taps the table. Means they're predictable. He stands. From now on, we see them before they see us. Vincent hesitates. And if they push? Bumpy pauses at the door. Then someone learns a lesson. Allie doesn't know it yet, but the protection saving him is pulling Bumpy into a deeper war, and the people watching from the shadows, they're about to make a move that forces Bumpy's hand. Because the Bureau isn't just watching anymore, they're setting a trap. Rain hammers the pavement. Streetlights blur into yellow halos. Muhammad Ali walks alone, coat collar up, gym bag slung low. Every step echoes too loud. A car follows. Not close, careful. Ali stops. Pretends to tie his shoe. The engine idles. His throat goes dry. Ali stands and keeps walking. Faster now. The car turns off, too clean. Ali exhales, but the breath catches. Because the silence feels rehearsed. A small private gym. One flickering bulb. Sweat-stained mat. Allie works the heavy bag. Thud, thud, thud. His breathing is sharp. Focused. A door creaks. Allie spins. A man steps in, mid-40s, friendly smile, clean coat. Allie, the man says, name's Marcus. Allie wipes his hands on a towel. You lost? Marcus chuckles. No, sir, just a fan. He steps closer. You know, some folks think you made a mistake. Allie's eyes narrow. I made my choice. Marcus raises his hands. Easy, just talking. He lowers his voice. They're willing to make this all go away. Allie scoffs. By sending me overseas? Marcus leans in. By giving you your life back. Silence. Allie looks at the bag, at the cracked leather. Tell them I'm fine, Allie says. Marcus sighs. That's not the answer they want. Allie steps closer. And that's all I got. Marcus studies him, then smiles thin. Be careful, champ. He turns and leaves. The door clicks shut. Allie's hands are shaking now. Back room of the Lenox Lounge. Low light, thick smoke. Bumpy Johnson sits at the table. Big Sam stands behind him. A small radio crackles in the corner. Vincent enters, pale. They approached him, Vincent says. Bumpy doesn't look up. Who? An intermediary, clean, smiling. Bumpy finally raises his eyes. They don't smile unless they think they're winning. Big Sam shifts his weight. You want him moved? Bumpy shakes his head. No. Vincent frowns. They're pushing, Bump. Bumpy leans back. Good. Big Sam blinks. That's good? Bumpy taps the table once. Means they're impatient. He stands. And impatient men make mistakes. Inside a parked sedan, two men sit in silence, hats low. One checks his watch. Harlem thinks they own him, the first says. The other smirks. They always do. A folder opens. Photos slide out. Allie leaving diners. Allie training alone. Allie talking to Bumpy's men. The second agent taps a photo. Cut off his friends, he folds. The first nods. And if he doesn't? A pause. Then someone close to him gets nervous. They close the folder. The car pulls away. Allie returns home late. He locks the door, leans against it. His heartbeat thuds in his ears. The phone rings, once, twice. Allie stares at it. He answers, no voice, just breathing, slow, intentional. Allie grips the receiver. Say what you came to say. The line clicks dead. Allie sets the phone down carefully. He sits at the table, stares at nothing. Across Harlem, Bumpy stands at his window. Rain streaks the glass. They think this ends with fear, he mutters. Big Sam asks, and you? Bumpy's voice is quiet. I think it ends with a lesson. Allie believes he's being pressured. The Bureau believes they're in control. What neither of them sees yet is that someone in the middle is already choosing a side, and when that choice is revealed, everything breaks. The room is too quiet. A bare bulb hums above a small table. Vincent sits alone, hands folded, knees bouncing. Across from him, two men in suits. No smiles now. One of them slides a recorder onto the table, reel to reel. Spools already turning. You're late, the agent says. Vincent swallows. Bumpy changed the schedule. The agent leans in. You don't work for him. Vincent's mouth opens, closes. You work for us. Silence presses down. The second agent taps the recorder. We want Johnson, but we'll take Allie first. Vincent's eyes flicker. Allie ain't dirty. The agent shrugs. Then he won't mind helping us. Vincent's hands start to shake. You want him scared, Vincent says. That's all? The agent smiles. We want him isolated. The recorder clicks louder. And you, the agent adds, want to stay out of prison. Vincent nods. Too fast. That night, Vincent walks Harlem with purpose. He stops at a phone booth, dials, a pause, then he speaks. He's training alone tomorrow night. Old gym, no guards. Static crackles. Johnson, no? Vincent hesitates. No. The line goes dead. Vincent stays in the booth. Rain hits the glass. He closes his eyes. Back room, same table, same gun. Bumpy Johnson pours a drink he doesn't touch. Big Sam watches Vincent from the doorway. Vincent steps in, forces a smile. Bad weather, he says. Bumpy nods. Always is. Vincent shifts. They're circling Ali harder. Bumpy looks at him. How do you know? Vincent opens his mouth. Bumpy raises one finger. Careful. The room tightens. Big Sam's hand moves just an inch toward his coat. Vincent's voice cracks. They'll make a move tomorrow. Bumpy studies him, long. Then he nods. Good. Vincent exhales, too relieved. Bumpy leans forward. Tell me something, Vincent. Vincent stiffens. When did you start wearing a wire? The bulb hums louder. Vincent's face drains. Bumpy stands. I don't like being lied to. Vincent stammers. They got me cornered. Bumpy's voice stays level. So you thought you'd trade Allie? Vincent shakes his head. Just scare him, that's all. Bumpy gestures to Big Sam. Big Sam steps forward, reaches inside Vincent's coat, pulls out the wire. The tape keeps rolling. Vincent collapses into the chair. They'll kill me, he whispers. Bumpy nods. Yes. He leans close, but not tonight. Next evening? The old gym. Allie hits the bag. Harder than usual. Thud, thud. Sweat drips off his nose. The door opens. Footsteps. Allie turns. 3 men step inside. Not Marcus. These men don't smile. One locks the door. Another sets a gun on the table. The metal clinks. Allie's heart slams. Sit, one says. Allie doesn't move. You here to scare me? The man smirks. We're here to talk. Allie breathes slow. Then talk. Outside rain starts. Suddenly, headlights flash through the grimy windows. A car skids to a stop. Doors slam. Heavy footsteps. The men freeze. The door explodes inward. Big Sam first. Then Bumpy Johnson, calm, furious. The gunman reaches, too slow. Big Sam's fist connects. Bone cracks. One man runs. Another drops to his knees. Bumpy walks to the table, picks up the gun, checks the chamber. Empty. He smiles. You brought a ghost to scare a lion. Bumpy turns to Allie. You all right? Allie nods. Chest heaving. Bumpy looks back at the men. Take a message. Big Sam drags them toward the door. Bumpy's voice follows. Next time you knock. Later that night, a quiet alley. Vincent waits. A car pulls up. He smiles, thinking it's protection. The window rolls down, not who he expects. A gun fires, once. The echo hangs. Vincent falls. The rain washes the blood into the gutter. The Bureau thought they had a man inside Harlem. They did. They just didn't realize that Bumpy Johnson was listening the whole time. And now the game isn't about pressure anymore. It's about survival. Morning breaks slow over Harlem. Rainwater still clings to the pavement. Blood has already been scrubbed away. But fear lingers. Inside a federal sedan, an agent reads a report. His jaw tightens. 1 dead informant. 3 men beaten. A failed intimidation. He folds the paper. Johnson sent an answer, he mutters. The driver doesn't respond. Because they both know this isn't paperwork anymore. The Lenox Lounge opens early, chairs still upside down. Floor smells like last night's smoke. Bumpy sits alone at the bar. Coffee this time, black. Big Sam approaches. They pulled their cars back. Bumpy nods. For now. Big Sam lowers his voice. You didn't have to go that far. Bumpy stares into the cup. Yes, I did. He looks up. They wanted him scared, small, quiet. A pause. I don't allow that. Big Sam shifts. You think they'll stop? Bumpy stands. No. He adjusts his coat, but they'll be careful. That night, the gym door creaks open. Ollie steps inside. Same bag, same bulb, different feeling. He hits the bag. Thud, thud. His breathing slows. The door opens again. Allie turns. Bumpy stands in the doorway. No gun visible, no rush. They backed off, Bumpy says. Allie wipes sweat from his eyes. For good? Bumpy shakes his head. No such thing. Allie nods. I don't regret it. Bumpy studies him. I know. Allie hesitates. They killed your man. Bumpy's face hardens. He made his choice. Allie looks down. People keep asking why you helped me. Bumpy steps closer. When a man stands alone, he says, someone has to decide what side they're on. Allie meets his eyes. And the cost? Bumpy smiles thin. You don't get protection free. 2 days later, a federal meeting room, ashtrays full, tempers thin. We let him go, one agent snaps. For now, another replies. A folder slides across the table. Public sympathy's turning. We push, we lose. Silence. Finally, a nod. Pull back, the first agent says. Not a retreat, a delay. Late night. Allie jogs through Harlem streets. No cars trailing him, no footsteps behind. Just breath, shoes hitting pavement. Up ahead, a black Cadillac rolls by. Slow. The window lowers. Bumpy lifts 2 fingers from the steering wheel. Allie nods back. The car disappears into the dark. Allie keeps running. In the end, nobody went to jail. Nobody won a medal. But one man kept his voice. And another proved. Some lines don't move, they just get defended. Dawn creeps into the alley slow. A janitor hosing trash pauses. Water pools around something dark, a shoe, then a leg. Police arrive quiet. No sirens. They don't rush. A sheet comes out. Covers Vincent's face. One officer kneels. Sees the hole. Clean. Precise. No wallet, he mutters. Another looks up and down the alley. No witnesses. They both know what that means. The body is loaded. The alley goes back to breathing. Like nothing happened. The Lenox Lounge opens late that day. Bartender wipes the same glass twice. Doesn't ask questions. A regular leans in. You hear? The bartender nods once. That's a shame. No name spoken. At a corner table, Big Sam sits with his back to the wall. A man approaches, nervous. That you're doing? Big Sam sips his drink. Finish yours. The man finishes and leaves. Fear moves faster than gossip. Allie walks down 125th Street in daylight, sun on his face. Kids pointing, smiling. Champ! Allie raises a hand, keeps walking. No tails today, no sudden turns, but something sits heavy in his chest. He stops at a newsstand. Headline, Ailey case delayed. He folds the paper. This protection bought him time. But time has a price. Allie looks across the street, sees Big Sam watching from a doorway. Just a second, then gone. Allie exhales. Inside a federal office, files are boxed. A name is crossed out in red. One agent stares at it too long. Should have pulled him earlier, he says. Another shrugs. Harlem ate him. They close the box, tape it shut. No funeral, no press release. Just a hole where leverage used to be. That night, Allie sits alone again. Same table, same chair, but the phone stays silent. No breathing, no clicks. He looks at his hands. They're steady. Allie whispers to the empty room. I won't forget. Outside a car passes, not slowing, not watching, just moving on. The streets don't celebrate, they adjust. One man is gone, one man is safer, and one man, Muhammad Ali, now understands something deeper than fame. Protection saves you, but it also binds you. And the bill always comes later. Weeks pass, then months. No more cars idling outside Ali's place. No men pretending to read newspapers too long. The pressure doesn't vanish. It just moves. Ali keeps training alone, running streets before dawn, hitting bags in borrowed rooms. His case drags through courts, years, not days. But something important has changed. Nobody tries to scare him anymore. Not because they agree with him, because someone already answered that question once. Harlem keeps breathing, but the temperature drops. Bumpy Johnson still walks the streets, still sits in the same clubs. But the FBI never forgets embarrassment. They don't rush him, they wait. Years later, they finally get him, not for Ali, not for protection. Taxes, old charges, paperwork. Bumpy goes quietly. No speeches, no gunfire. A man who fought the government his whole life ends up buried in documents. Irony has a long memory. A courtroom decision hits like a bell. Ali's conviction is overturned. He's free. When he steps outside, cameras flash again. Crowds cheer like nothing happened. But Ali knows better. Freedom didn't come just from judges. It came from nights when fear didn't reach his door, from men who stood between him and silence. He never says Bumpy's name on camera. He doesn't have to. Years later, Harlem at night. Rain slicks the pavement. Streetlights hum. A young fighter runs past the Lenox Lounge, head down, focused. Inside, a table sits empty. No gun, no whiskey, just history. Ali once said a man should stand for something or fall for anything. In his darkest years, when the country turned its back, he stood. And someone dangerous decided that mattered. The government tried to break a boxer with fear. Instead, they forced a gangster to protect a conscience. One man lost his freedom, one man kept his voice, and the streets never forgot who chose what. If this shocked you, and wait until you hear who finally betrayed Bumpy Johnson from the inside. Drop a comment. Would you have stood alone like Ali, or stayed quiet to survive? Subscribe, because Bumpy's most dangerous enemy wasn't the FBI. It was someone much closer.